That's a really, that was one of my heartstrings breaking. Caught on camera. Okay, I have to replace a string later. Right. All right, this is number 8, titled Empty Spaces, What Shall We Do Now? And I just finished listening to Goodbye Blue Sky. So, and I noticed that it was cut as if it ought to flow into this. So let's just dive right in and see how it continues. He does a really good job of setting up this empty spaces vibe really quickly here. It's, in my mind, when I think of blue sky, I think of a beautiful empty space. Empty spaces without blue sky? I'm having a little bit of difficulty picturing that, but it's obviously dark. So we've lost the blue sky, but we're in an empty space. And he definitely set that up here. But I don't know exactly where this is going to yet. Let's keep going.
What shall we use to fill the empty spaces?
What an interesting use of the voice there to give this feeling of emptiness and kind of confusion, I guess. Like bewilderment. How do we fill the empty spaces? All right, let's keep going.
Spaces where we used to talk. How shall I fill the final places? How should I complete the wall?
Oh boy. This throws me around a bit because I'm thinking at the beginning, I'm thinking of blue sky and then empty spaces that are dark, but then he's talking about empty spaces where we used to talk, and suddenly we understand that we're talking about relationships, and then how to fill the final places we're brought back to this wall. And it's so interesting to me the way he's using this figure of the wall, because every time it comes back in a different design, a different shape, a different structure. It's always a wall, but sometimes it's symbolic, sometimes it feels very concrete and real, and other times it feels like here, how should I complete the wall? Well, suddenly he's really pushed us into understanding that this wall is not made of bricks and mortar and something that we set up physically around ourselves. It's very much having to do with relationships and distancing ourselves from people, from connection. But then that takes me back to the blue sky and the whole idea of childhood. And then what he's done before that. There's a lot to unpack in this, and it'll take me a while. But musically, what do we have here? Well, I think this opening is great because in music we talk about different intervals as having different qualities. And I've talked a lot about chords in some of my earlier videos. Now, here, the entire opening, it even says no chord right here. Just the notes written. Single notes. And then it goes on to reinforce and make them stronger, but it's still the same note at a different octave, in a different range. So we never have a chord. And chords always give us this feeling of fullness and of color, depth. They shape our perception of the mood, the quality of the music. There's none of that here. The only hint we might have of such a thing is when we have this little filler note here, which may or may not belong to a chord. It just carries us on to the next empty space here and so forth. I'd like to listen to this opening again and just enjoy that emptiness of the music. One more thing. I said before in the previous song as it was ending, it sounded kind of like an airport. I don't know if that's what it was meant to sound like, but it does sound a bit like it to me. And that could symbolize the lack of blue sky because we're in this big building that is very large, very empty. And the people around us are strangers and we don't know them. They're going places. There's no connection to any of the people there. And it's a point of transition and disconnect. Even though airports connect us to so many other destinations and parts of the world, they themselves are a very disconnected place to be. Anyway, I just wanted to say that, and let's listen to this music now. So we're here. Oops, no, sorry, we're not there. We're here now. Now here in this moment, it's still empty. There are no chords. That's where we are. Now you'll hear this little bit. But all it did was reinforce the emptiness. And that's where we enter. Really nicely set up. Really incredibly well done. I was trying to mark the notes, the location in the score in case you want to follow along. But that was a bit of musical genius in that opening that someone might argue and say, it's not genius, you're just playing some octaves and it's so simple and easy. But the genius is knowing that it ought not to be anything more than that. Fabulous. Okay, so that was my first experience with empty spaces. And you can see I'm getting more and more into understanding the complexity of this entire work and the depths that are available in it. There's no way I can catch everything on the first lesson. I'm going to be living with this for a while in preparation for the in-depth analysis and so forth. But I am enjoying this journey. So let's go on and see, because again, this one cut off, and that means that something is supposed to flow directly from it. So I want to see what comes next.